Sin City is a series of neo-noir comics by American comic book writer and artist Frank Miller. The setting is in Basin City, almost universally referred by the nickname of Sin City. It's a fictional town of the western United States. All the plot is about a certain group of people fighting against the city and the Whor family, a dynasty of corrupt landowners and politicians whose influence over Basin City has stretched as far back as the days of the Old West. Everything sounds very interesting in paper, but in reality, this is just an episodic plot of several criminals, detectives, prostitutes, and killers in the City of Sins. All the characters are based in two archetypes, the male fantasy of power and the prostitute. If you are expecting the characters to make an intelligent statement, well, you're not going to find anything of that here. All the women in the comic are prostitutes except for Mio, and she's mute because here nobody cares about what a woman has to say. So that's the level of this comic book. In fact, this comic resembles a lot to the movie Pulp Fiction, because of the nihilistic style of the plot. Sin City is everything I hate about adult comic books, which is all over edge, drugs, sex and prostitutes. I don't understand why so many people call this comic book one of the top 10 graphic novels ever done. And then people complain why comic books aren't taken as serious as a book or as a movie. But if this is your example of a adult comic book, let me tell you that I don't care about your opinion. The only thing I liked is the art style. Not because of the drawing of the characters, but the use of ink is actually very creative. It's something impressive in fact. Seeing all the details you can make with a high contrast is something that got me stunned several times. And even when they use color, it looks very nice, it's very creative. Why this comic is no more of that? Why the plot is so stupid? This is not Casablanca or Chinatown or Blackstad. This is a bootleg of a good noir story. Sin City only deserves a 3 out of 10. It was a complete disappointment. 300 is an historical-inspired 1998 comic book limited series written and illustrated by Frank Miller, with painted colors by Lynn Varley. The comic is a fictional retelling of the Battle of Thermopylae and the events leading up to it from the perspective of Leonidas of Sparta. Again, I have the same feelings I had with Sin City. I like the art style, I like the coloring, but when I got to the story, I feel nothing about the characters. The characters are very one-dimensional. Xerxes is the generic tyrant, Leonidas the typical soldier, Ephialtes is Judas. They don't have any personality trait. They don't have any resemblance to their real-life appearance. Just look at this, it's so ridiculous. Why he looks like Golden Johnny Sins? What is that? Okay, the pacing is good. Again, I like the coloring of the comic book, but the character's design is kind of awful. I don't see any reason to recommend this comic. It feels more like a parody rather than an actual story. It's not as bad as Sin City, but still, it's not more than a 4 out of 10. And I don't care about the movie, I don't care about the sequel, I don't care anything about this work. It's just absolutely great for me. Now, if you want to read something actually historically accurate, you can read The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. It has wonderful characters and a passionate story. It's one of the best spy books I ever read in my entire life. All the characters of that book are wonderful. Once you start that book, you cannot stop. So if you want something that is actually worthy of your time, please read The Three Musketeers.